I am a girl boss. I am a writing girl boss. We write, we thrive. That's what we do. Hello, welcome to CC Writes. My name is CC Lepke, and it's day 15 of Nanowrimo. It is officially the halfway point, for which I am thankful and also extraordinarily nervous, because from this point on, it tends to get a little iffy. At this point, it's usually like I'm tapping into my reserves, trying to force my way through the rest of the month, and hopefully I don't have to do that too much. I don't know, we'll see what happens, I guess. I am a little bit ahead in Nanowrimo, so I'm very excited, and let's just go ahead and get started. So I'll put 25 minutes on the clock for the very first writing sprint of the day and be awesome. I'm going to be awesome today. I am not going to space on anything. I'm laser focused. Sometimes you have to lie to yourself to try to make things happen. I'm so mentally tired, but even so, gonna continue being awesome like I do. Self-hype, if you didn't know, is one of the most important forms of hype. And as per usual, the internet disconnected. Will I survive Nanowrimo? Who knows? Wonderful times for everyone. I typed my symptoms into a browser and it said I might have internet connectivity issues. Well, things are not going quite the way that I would prefer. I lost the internet there for much longer than is reasonable, so I got about 315 words in. That's, I don't know, I would say that's better than nothing. I have certainly had worse writing sprints during this time, but what can I say? I'm talented like that. I was really wanting to be further along today by this point. All right, but that's okay. I will survive, as the song said. It's hard to not let stuff like that get me down, especially I was in such a good flow and I'm not anymore, and that's going to be problematic for the rest of the day. I'm just going to have to push through and hope that I get that pace back. All right, well, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get started on the next writing sprint. In my story, I'm to a point where the main character is trying to give a present to her sister, a watch that's very inconspicuous and can be used to hide her scent. She's just gonna reject it straight out because it's what she views as human technology, even though its purpose is actually to subvert humans. I did manage to get back onto my pace a little bit, so I'm happy about that. Well, I survived. And that is pretty good. It's what you want, right? Things happen. I'm the girl, I can deal with it. So even as exhausted as I am, that was a very successful sprint, and I can only be happy about that. Being over the halfway point is a huge accomplishment. Like, even though that's where I'm supposed to be today, sometimes that's the hardest place to get to. And I'm just really thrilled that I managed to do it, and I'm here and I'm still going 15 days in, and I am writing strong. I got this. All right. It is day 16 of Nanowrimo, and I'm over halfway done with my story. That's ridiculous. I'm so stoked. So far, I've gotten a long way. I'm almost up to the inciting incident, which is silly because NaNoWrimo is supposed to be about writing a story in 30 days, but really it's 50,000 words, and it just turned out that my story is gonna take a lot longer than that. I'm almost to the inciting incident of my story. I should be able to get to that point today, I think, and I Could not be happier about that. So what my plan is for the rest of this week is to try and get as much above the daily word count as I possibly can, because on Saturday and Sunday, I'm not going to be streaming. So that's 2 days that I'm not going to be doing any work for Nanowrimo. And so I need to make sure that I have as many words in the bank as I possibly can. So that's what today is all about. It's trying to get as many words in the bank as possible so that I can reach the end of this week and have those 2 days off and not have to worry about being behind when I come back, or at least not that behind. Hopefully I do not lose my focus today. This weekend I have plans with a couple of my friends to make a bunch of desserts and take them to some homeless shelters nearby. I'm really excited about it though, because I love baking, and this is just a fun opportunity that I get to have to make treats for a whole bunch of people. I've been looking forward to this for weeks, so that's why I wanted to put in the extra effort to get my words in beforehand so I don't have to focus on anything else on those days. I'm finally getting to a point in my story where the fairy queen is about to give a prophecy over the king's imminent demise. Super exciting stuff. I do feel like my characters need to be a little bit more balanced than they are at the moment, but that's gonna have to be a future CC problem. I am very excited getting into the next couple of scenes that I have here. So I have the political conflict on the macro scale, which is, the turmoil between the actual political leaders. And then I'm also going to be able to show it on the micro scale of how it affects the people in the kingdom and how it's going to affect what the main character is going to be doing from this point forward. I was a little worried that all of this stuff was going to turn out to be a little bit boring, but I think that I'm managing to keep up enough interesting stuff going on with all of the give and take and the problem and solution oriented writing that I'm doing. It's at least keeping my interest fairly well. And since it's a first draft, that's all I need to do. So I have today and tomorrow to try and write an extra day's worth of words. It's gonna be tough. I may not make it all the way, but I'm gonna do my best. We'll be fine. Everything is okay. Nothing is awful. Let's get started. It's going pretty good in my story. I feel like I'm at a point where the sisters are I feel like I've had the sisters fight with each other in like every other chapter, but they do have kind of a tense relationship. I just hope I'm not overdoing it, because I don't want them to seem like they don't have a bond with each other. It's just that I fight with my sister a lot, and so this just seems like a perfectly normal sibling relationship to me. I'm sure it's fine. I'm honestly really excited to write this time. Like I'm all for it right now. I feel so energetic, and I really feel like I'll do well in these last 2 sprints. Because I don't know. I'm a warrior, I guess. If I think it, I can do it. That's what life gurus try to tell you, right? Just visualize and make it happen. I am a girl boss. I am a writing girl boss. We write, we thrive. That's what we do. I am a writing legend. I am dominating this story. If I were a writing superhero, the overconfidence girl, I am having a time of it. I had a whole bunch of computer issues, so I'm a little late getting started on my writing sprints today, but I'm still going to do them because I need to do them, because I'm a big girl and I can do my job. So this has been quite the week, but we're going to get through it. We're going to make it. Nanowrimo will not defeat us. We will survive this, and we will be stronger for the experience. That is the plan. Here we go. We can do this. We are winners. I decided I'm gonna make slight change because this chapter is going to focus on the sister and what the sister is doing for her part of the inciting incident in her story. And the thing about the sister is that she is a little bit of a problem child for me. Sometimes I write her and she's way better than the main character, and other times I write her and she's just like, oof, so boring. And the sister at the very beginning represents more of the socioeconomic turmoil, whereas the main character is going through more of a personal struggle, but I need both of those struggles to equal out, and that is difficult. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip a few parts of her story, leave her out of it for a little bit until she comes back in later on. I'm basically just like shifting all of her stuff over slightly. So I'm excited about these changes. I think they're going to be really helpful for the story overall. It's going to get rid of a lot of useless storytelling that was going to be in there. And it just took me a while to realize that if I just shift things over a little bit, then that it's actually the perfect inciting incident for this particular character. So the day before yesterday, I went and was making cookies and candies and stuff to give to some local homeless shelters. So I ended up having a lot of fun doing that with my friends. But we were eating sugar the entire time that I was there, and that was pretty much all I had eaten that day. So I woke up yesterday with what felt like just an absolute horrible sugar hangover. It was so bad. I was an absolute wreck all day. So I just switched over into Act 2 of my story, and I separate it out into a 3-act structure when I'm writing. So I'm super excited that I'm up to this point. It looks like my story is probably going to end up being, once I actually finish it, probably about 120,000 words, somewhere around there, which is a lot. It's a lot more than I usually aim for in my stories. Usually I'm trying to get somewhere around 60,000. So this should be interesting. We'll see how much I can get done during Nanowrimo, and then hopefully I'll like what I have written well enough by the end that I'll actually finish it this time. The mentor that is going to come into the story, I'm pretty excited to introduce him finally. Up to this point, he's referred to as the butcher, but he's actually the dean of the medical department, and I thought that would be like a fun little twist in the story. But yeah, fun stuff. Man, it always feels good to do a good job on this. I just like that moment when you hit the word count that you need and you know that you still have plenty of room to do more is just so gratifying. And would you look at that? I'm already almost a half a day in the surplus now. So I should have plenty in the bank for Thanksgiving, and that makes me happy. I'm not going to have to worry too much about having to catch up on anything after the holiday. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today on CC Writes. I hope you enjoyed sprinting together with me, and I will see you later.